Hello and welcome to the Gin Weekly Update for Friday, June 24th, 2016. I'm Joel Yeast. In our Gin recognition this week, we would like to recognize Mr. and Mrs. Ben and Nancy Marley. Ben and Nancy do a great job of being plugged into the Gin system. They're always at as many events as they can go to. They're holding local chapter meetings and Mastering the Success Mastery course classes. And they're always bringing new members into the club. So let's stand and send thanks and recognition to Ben and Nancy. Thank you. And to a lot of you who are putting on local chapter meetings and Mastering the Success Mastery course classes. We appreciate you. Speaking of, look for Gin meetings in your area coming up in the next week or so. Local chapter meetings. June 28th, there's one in Palm Beach Gard, Florida. July 1st in Paris, France. July 3rd in London, England. And July 6th in Houston, Texas. Mastering the Success Mastery course classes, June 26th in Bouchette, Quebec. June 29th in Prague, Czech Republic. July 3rd in Cèze, France for level 2 and above. July 5th in Lake Park, Florida, also for level 2 and up. And July 7th in Houston, Texas. For more information or to look for an event in your area, log into access.events. When I was a boy growing up, I was in the Boy Scouts. And for my birthday, I got a brand new pocket knife. It was a small lock blade knife that I kept in my backpack or my pocket. For the longest time, I really didn't know what to do with it. I was just very proud, and I liked to open it up and look at it, admire how clean and sharp it was. And I would take it out every chance I could and sharpen it up, never really using it for anything, just sharpen it again and again. Well, that summer at camp, I took my camping merit badge course. And there, I learned all about the usefulness and safety of handling a knife. The first thing they taught me was knife safety. I learned to keep the blade closed when I'm not using it, or if I was passing it on to somebody else. I learned to always cut away from myself in case I slipped. Never throw a knife. Always keep the knife clean and sharp. Sharp. In fact, there's nothing more dangerous, they told me, than a dull knife. Why? Because it doesn't work as well at cutting, yet you'll still use it to cut. So you use more force, and it can slip much easier and cut you. But a knife is still a very useful tool, from camping and fishing to eating, first aid, fixing, prying, opening up a box, and like I said, cooking. There are many types of knives, and a cooking knife is a special tool. A good chef has many different types of knives for different purposes. A knife for cutting meat, cutting bread, and chopping, and peeling, and filleting, carving, so much. A professional can tell how good a sushi chef is just by looking at his knife. A chef's knife is a good indication of how much care and attention he or she is paying to preparation. Like I said, a sushi chef will take pride in their knife. They'll own their own knives and spend a great deal of money on the right knife. And they'll only use those knives for the intended purpose. They'll sharpen and clean his or her knife at least once a day, just to make sure that it is ready for use. If the knife isn't sharp, the cut will be harder to make and much less precise. It'll take a lot longer to do. Abraham Lincoln famously said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." Now back to my camping days. I told you that I kept taking out the knife and sharpening it over and over. That's all I would do, is I would sharpen it in front of the fire. Did you know that you can over sharpen a knife? What happens is the blade edge becomes too thin and it won't quite cut properly, but it'll still cut your finger. There's a quote by Lao Tzu. It says, "Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity." How sharp is your knife? Are you using the right tools for the right job? Think about that as an analogy for your life. And sort of changing the subject, but still quoting, there are two other quotes that I find very significant. The first one goes like this: "I've found that luck is quite predictable. If you want more luck, take more chances, be more active, show up more often." The other quote goes like this: "It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going." Those quotes are both from Brian Tracy. Have you ever seen Brian Tracy live? See, you have that opportunity to see one of the most amazing speakers in the business, Mr. Brian Tracy, at our Dream Weekend Global Success Conference. That's coming up August 5th through the 7th in gorgeous San Diego, California. We hope to see you there. It's at the exquisite Hilton La Jolla. Like I said, keynote speaker Brian Tracy. He headlines a weekend that will be full of training, networking, social activities, music, dancing, good vibrations, sunshine, and success. We really look forward to seeing you there. If you've already registered for Dream Weekend, a reminder, book your room now using the exclusive GIN link. We hope to see you there. That's it. That's the weekly update for Friday, June 24th, 2016. I'm Joel Yeast. I'll see you again next week. Thank you.